Welcome to Azerbaijan. We're going to make a whistle-stop tour of Baku by night. And we're in a London cab. I'd advise you to stay much longer than the 3 or 4 hours we've got. But if you've only got one night, to see the city with all its lights on is something you'll never forget.
Oh, that's the Olympic Stadium. It holds more than 70,000 people, absolutely massive, and it was built for the European Games in 2015. Quite a lot of what you see along the road was built at about the same time for the same games, including the gymnastics arena. That's what we're passing now. It puts on a particularly impressive illumination show using lots of national symbols. And I really love the way it's not just big towers and stadia that get the special treatment. Even the petrol stations along here are flights of architectural fancy.
But I can always feel a certain excitement as we get to the Heydar Aliyev Centre. It's extraordinary to think that the height of this unbelievable building is like 16 double-decker buses, but all you see when you come past at night are these very, very strange contours, absolutely odd and mysterious, and it absolutely invites you to come back and explore. It's the sort of building you've just got to see from multiple angles. It's a cultural centre and a museum.
Sometimes it's really hard to tell old buildings from new. The Supreme Court building that we're going past looks like an apparition of the British Museum to me, but actually it's only a couple of years old. In contrast, this sort of Escher-esque-like building that we're going past here, it's Government House, but that was built in the 1930s, although they didn't actually finish it until about 1952.
So now we're really in the heart of the city. Behind me, the building that you see is Gizgalasi, or the Maiden Tower.
The tower is a place of countless fairy tale myths, yet nobody really knows what it was for or even how old it is. What we do know is that it used to be on the edge of the Caspian, so where I'm standing now would have been in the bay, well, at least until the construction of the boulevard. That's Baku's favourite promenade.
And I'm going to take you for a little stroll. Come along, let's go. The most archetypal place to enjoy Baku by night is Baku Boulevard. Here we are on a little pier with the waters of the Caspian lapping beneath us, and the boulevard sweeps around here. This area was a whole load of jetties and docks until 1909, when they decided to create a pleasure park. But that was relatively short, and it was in the 1960s that it was extended right the way along to the Government House area. Now it goes right round the bay, another couple of kilometres that way, and all the way into the so-called White City. Some of the things you might want to notice: intriguing multi-arched building over here that is a very typical 1960s cafe, Mirvari. Right in front of me, at the other end of the pier, we're overlooked by the museum centre. That used to be a Lenin museum. If we go walking along the boulevard with lots of the happy families and courting couples, you see quite a lot of interesting trees. There are baobabs, 200-year-old baobabs that actually predate the boulevard. How did they get here? Well, actually, they've been shipped in from Argentina, but there's no expense spared to make the boulevard a place that's really pleasant for people to stroll and interesting to look around. Well, we've come across from the boulevard, and the building behind me is one of the most beautiful of the 1930s apartment blocks, home to a lot of artists and writers. But obviously, what is truly impressive, and look at it, are the incredible flame towers.
They're the city's new #1 icon, a perfect symbol really for the land of fire, especially when the lights are playing. To get up there, we've got a choice. There's a funicular, and it's free, but I quite like to walk. Even the stairway has its own light show, and somehow I kind of feel like Fred Astaire as I go up this way.
So here we are, right on the top of Baku Mountain Park. What a fabulous view. The whole bay laid before us, the lights twinkling in the evening, and just the fact that that's the Caspian Sea has a certain magic for lovers of Narnia and C.S. Lewis like myself. It's hard to get a sense of scale from up here, but the flag mast that you see down there is the second tallest in the world, after one in Tajikistan. Next to it, the alien Land Rover building glinting away was actually built in quite a hurry. In fact, it had to be because Azerbaijan won the Eurovision Song Contest in 2011 and they had to have a place to host the 2012 edition, and that Crystal Hall was the result. Just a few papers from where we were earlier with the views over the bay. Here you have an extraordinary conjugation of real fire and the flames of the flame tower. Of course, this is actually a place of some reflection and tragedy as it remembers those who died in 20th of January 1990. There's a sense of meaning to this whole place. I'm sitting on the edge of Fountain Square. It's one of my favourite places in the city. Great place to come and relax and to watch the passeggiata of the local families enjoying the cool evening air. The obvious building that you see behind me is the Nizami Literature Museum. It's a wonderful thing to have right at the heart of your city, a museum that celebrates literature, and Azerbaijanis are very, very proud of their poets and writers. You'll notice 6 niches with statues, each of a writer from different centuries. And as I say, the whole museum is named after Nizami. And the next place we're going to go is Nizami Street. We've come to the other end of Fountain Square now, an area of some beautiful houses, many of them built at the turn of the 20th century by oil barons, people who made their money in the great boom when Baku was the greatest oil city. Let's go and have a cup of tea. I think we've earned one. Even if you're only in Baku for a couple of hours, the one thing you must have is a cup of tea. In these beautiful Armudi glasses. Armudi means pear and it comes from the pear shape. But it's the perfect way to taste a proper cup of tea, Baku style. Well, looks like I've just about made it. The train's still here. Got my passport. Just need to find the right carriage. Goodbye, Baku. Thank you. It's been 3 or 4 wonderful hours looking around the city at night.